Happy Thursday, boys and girls. My name is Jeffery Scott Mitchell. Coming to you live on Memorex default location, default route. I realized that my antics, and they definitely were antics, in my display and demonstration and acting out due to my situation at work, which is, I think I'm growing weary of doing my particular job. First of all, I want to say it's nothing to do with the company. It's nothing to do with the people I work with. Everything, I mean, they do, it may be even more aggravating that they are so accommodating and so on top of it and just so, quote unquote, perfect that I really can't, I have nothing to lash out at them about. And as far as my demonstration goes and my little antics and maybe my little tantrum, or not tantrum, but my little, acting out this because of my situation, I realized that this organization that I'm with is so professional that my little antics would not go unnoticed, but would not be commented on. It's not, I wouldn't get direct feedback from it. It's almost like, they let you go ahead and hang your own self or something like that. And I realized that there's little gestures and little things I say or do, or when I go back to my desk, go, ugh, like, oh, here we go. Like saying all that. And it's natural, and I did it without even thinking. And it's real. I mean, it's real. It's like, oh. I sit down and go, oh, here we go. When I walked in there a couple weeks ago and I went blah, 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 like that. And there's not that kind of energy in the place. All my years there, I might be the first one to openly display that kind of energy. I'm probably overstating it, but pretty much, because, ain't nobody gonna be as demonstrative, loud, and obnoxious as I am anyway, and comfortable, and basically, y'all can kiss my ass attitude, which may or may not be a good thing, to totally disregard the environment around you because of your feelings, which felt good. The letting go part, that part felt really good. But I just started to notice, when I'm at home, I could do it. Actually, at home, I don't do it. It's only in the office. And it's not that I'm doing it to put on a show or make a statement or to protest or anything. It's just real. At home, I just, there's different dynamics going on at home. Let's just say that. There's different dynamics going on at home as opposed to in the office, where I'm in a more constrained situation. The situation at home is more fluid, so I have more flexibility, or you can put something like that. Anyway, the whole point is, I need to step up my game. But it was fun, acting out. It felt good. It served a purpose. The way the world and life works is that my little, whatever I went through or what I'm going through is going to trigger or create something, a ripple in the universe that will be acted upon one way or the other by whoever or however, if or if not. And it was, I don't want to say right or wrong about it, or good or bad, but it may or may not help me achieve a goal that I want to attain. And and from my subjective perspective, I can put on a good or bad, right or wrong to it, because there's a definite objective. There's a definite thing that I want to accomplish and achieve. And if I don't do that, you can put a negative or positive, good or bad on it, because there's a definite goal. So I decided, or better yet, I've become aware of my gestures and body language and energy, outward energy. Because I'm just demonstrative. I just like to, you know, whatever I'm thinking, I want everybody to know. It's just in my blood, kind of, my subconscious, that to not to hide, definitely not to hide what I'm feeling, but to not to express it. And it's probably a big part of my happiness and the joy I get from being Jeffrey, the fact that I'm gonna say or do pretty much whatever I want to do, for the most part. And I'm gonna feel and act and what I want to do. And that may even come back to the point where I enjoy being by myself so much, because that's really that's one of the very few, if not only, instances where you can do and say and be whatever you want when you're by yourself, unencumbered. No distractions, not interference, but no restrictions, no considerations. You don't have to consider other people. You can just be or say or do or act or whatever, however you want. And that has always been very precious to me. Very, very, very precious to me. And I think I'm starting to realize that, because I'm not used to being restrained. That may be a simplistic way to put it, but the restraints, I've set myself up pretty much to exist with minimal restraint, especially now with this working from home. Oh my God. And it was a concern about that. Whoa! And there was a concern about that when I started working from home, because I felt I wasn't getting any external interaction, especially during the pandemic. Like my sister said, I love the pandemic. I was in the pandemic before the pandemic started. I was in the pandemic protocol before the pandemic started, to a degree. So I gotta, since I'm functioning in a social environment within a group where I need the group, or I need something from the group, I need to be a part of the group, basically. There's restraints and responsibilities. There's obligations, there's expectations. There's a contract, all right? We're gonna pay you this amount of money. You're gonna come here, you're gonna do this, and for the most part, you're gonna behave in this certain way. And it's a contract, and you know, it's fair. I mean, I'm not against that at all. I understand that. And for like, what, the last 9 years or so, I haven't had any problem with it. But because we're so wonderfully human, things change. Nothing is static. It's beautiful that we can have things change and have to go through this and all that. It's life. And I think that's what life is about and what life is for, and why we're all diverse, and why diversity will be the key to our survival, or life survival, I should say. Because more than likely, we're gonna die out. Well, ain't no doubt about it. We're definitely gonna die out eventually. And another species will emerge. Maybe another branch of us, or, you know, who knows? But, so I just gotta be more aware of my body. And see, also made me think about this, is people can walk by and see my body language and my energy and my not normal disposition of happy Jeffrey. Not that I'm sad or anything, but people can see I'm just like sitting there cool. in meetings, I'm not talking as much. And I think this has happened a couple times before, where people started to notice that. And the bosses and stuff. And like yesterday, I walked in, the big boss from Manchester was in on the meeting. The big, like the big supervisor, manager boss was in there. And he was like, hey, Jeff. I was like, what's up? He's like, how's it going? I was like, it's going. I mean, I couldn't say it's going good. Couldn't tell him the truth. So I said, it's going. I said, it's going. I said, it's definitely going. And everybody was like, yeah, kind of. And he said, yeah, it's going. It's going. I can say that. It's going. I mean, because people know I'm going to say what's on my mind. But that one, in that situation, I don't think I could have said anything better. I wasn't going to say it's fine, because it's not. Okay, I want to say it's good, it's not. Of course, the answer is probably much more complicated than needed to be explained in that situation with everybody in the room, with everybody on our portion of the team, the night team, in the room or on video chat. So I was like, it's going. It's definitely going. Somebody says, is it good or bad? And I'm like, it's going. And they can probably see how, just my body language of kickback, not saying as much, maybe not participating as much as I used to, and there's other people in the room who don't say nothing. Now see, here's the thing. There's other members of our team who never say nothing. They just sit there quiet. It's like 3 or 4 of them. I mean, they never talk. They're just good workers, they're just not that. I'm not that person. So for me to come in here and not say anything, it's noticeable. And I realized that maybe about 20 years ago, 25, kind of, like halfway through my career, that Jeffery has expectations. When Jeffery come in the room, he says, how come you're quiet? You've been here all day, I ain't heard you. Blah, 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 what's wrong? It's like being normal like everybody else. No. For 4 years, you've been coming here, woo, 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 every day, being a cheerleader, dancing around, doing cartwheels. All of a sudden, you stop doing that. We're going to go, even though so-and-so always comes in quiet, demeanor sits down there. When I sit in the meeting and just, but I try to sit there and look attentive. I make sure I look attentive. I was listening to everybody say it. I was listening intensely to somebody say. And if there was something that I wanted to say, I say it. But it's become obvious, probably to them and to me, that I really don't care no more and don't have nothing to say. I just want to get through the day. Leave me alone. And that's probably become obvious. And that could be detrimental to my career here if it gets out of hand. Even though I'm doing my job and doing everything, probably have better numbers than a lot of people, still doing this, but the weight or the not stigma, but the impact that my personality can have on a team, it could be where, it could be detrimental to a point, even though I'm not really doing anything, to, get rid of me, to move me out of there. He's not really doing nothing. It's just taking up that energy space, that void, to where somebody may or may not need to step up and fill that void, and it may not be because of the dynamics. Nobody may be able to do it with me in the room. And then I can see how on the team where, well, Jeffrey, and then other members of the team start going, Jeffrey, he ain't doing nothing, but he's okay, but where I can quote unquote make people uncomfortable by not doing nothing, literally. And I've accepted that. I've accepted the fact that because of who I am, I can make people uncomfortable by not even doing anything. That's just part of the game. That's part of being Jeffery. And no matter how, years ago, I thought it was unfair. You know, oh my God, how come, blah, blah, blah. And I went on and on, I'd go crazy, you know, no, life is not fair. Life is not fair. Certain people, certain things, certain people get certain things, certain people don't. Certain things are expected of other people, but they're not expected of certain people. And that's just the way it goes. And I gotta be aware of all that. And it's fun. I'm having a good time with it. It's fun. And to be honest with you, the challenge of having to buckle up and go out and look for another job may be something that may benefit me. Something to shake me up after 10 years, get my resume together, get my feet back on the ground, go out there and have to hustle. Maybe what I need to get my mojo going. Maybe what I need to find something different or better or get to that next level. So I'm not afraid of that either. I don't want to do it because I'm like extremely comfortable right now. But I mean, I'm talking about it. I've been talking about this for a few weeks now. It's a real thing. This is how I handle it. This is how I handle it. This is how I go after it. I submitted my resume for another position. Haven't heard from them yet, which I'm already prepared for if I don't get it, if I don't even interview, whatever. But I'm thinking this company, they're gonna at least interview me. They're gonna at least just go through the motions of giving me a shot. This company is just so accommodating and so with the new, not only DEI protocols, but the whole, wellness and people and all that. So I'm pretty sure I could at least, sit down or talk or something. And I don't want my current attitude to affect that. Even with my 9.5 years, exquisite, excellent body of work, I don't want that tarnished. So I think that I caught it in time. I think I realized it's just in time to where I could pull back and just, see, the whole thing is, here's the thing. If I just sit there and be quiet and don't say nothing, I might as well be screaming at the top of my lungs, I hate it here. That's just Jeffery. I mean, that's what they expect. I mean, that's what I led people, If I just walk in, doing my job, head down, well, especially if I did it without laughing or joking or talking to anybody, and I'm just up there killing the numbers, just focused on my work, head down, just busting my ass. That's one way to send a statement. And I know that. I've done that before, in fact. I've done that deliberately. But there should be a balance to where I can come in there and do that and maintain the integrity of my feelings and how I feel about the current position and what I'm doing now, and be real. There should be a way I could be real and be sociable, but keep it professional. And see, that's a restraint. That is a restraint that I'm not used to having at this company, because I haven't been in this position before where I had to exercise something like this. And it's not a bad thing. Something that I should do, learn to do, blah, 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 blah. So, not really a complaint, but it may come out as a complaint, and I may present it as a complaint because it's easier to talk about and to point and to demonstrate and to acknowledge and to see it. If I view it as a complaint, it's easier to identify. It's easier to identify. Because I got things on the horizon. I got things I want to do. Go back to Ohio, spend my time in Ohio with granddaughter, blah, blah. And I found out that the position that I applied for is 2 days a week in the office. So that means when I go back there, instead of spending 2 days of PTO, if I go for 2 weeks, I gotta use 4 days of PTO, which I'm gonna have to figure out. I just gotta be more judicious with my PTO. But chances are, I get a new position, I'll be happier. I won't be taking days off. I won't be taking a day off, at least one day off every 2 weeks. I guess I've been doing that for a while. I've been doing that for a while though. I probably might have been doing that, now that I think about it. I might have been doing that for a few years now. Getting into that mode. 'Cause I think I was doing that with my previous supervisor. So it might not just be a new thing, which could be more telling than I want to admit. Or that I want to, yeah, I could have made it. Yeah, I could have made it. But so, and I forgot to recharge the wireless transmitter. So I don't know when the battery gonna run out on it or not. We'll see how long. It's all we're like down to the last line or whatever. So we'll see. I think hopefully when it cuts off, it'll go to the phone microphone, and we go from there. But we'll see. So that's where we are, for the most part. I got to get myself together, and there's a chance, there's a possibility that I'm just working through this. And as I'm working through this, I'll get my feet back on the ground, and I'll get back to being Jeffery. There's a good chance that could happen, to where I just actually get back to being Jeffery. I forgot I got it in my pocket somewhere in the lavalier microphone. I can look at the how much battery I got. I forgot, since I wasn't wearing it like right here. I got it in my hand. I can actually pull it out. Stick it in because I got it in my pocket. Blah, 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 blah. So, oh, she looking at this. Yeah, there's artwork around here. There's artwork. California, humans put art in places. Humans like aesthetic pleasure, having things look nice. Because a lot of times, sometimes I see some stuff and say, it's ornament. It's ornamental. It's decorated. There's no reason for that to be decorated. It's a bridge, for crying out loud. But people like human beings put art and decoration, and for some people, I don't know if it's unnecessary, because it could serve a purpose. Just to distinguish one bridge from another, that can help, instead of putting a sign on it, to make them different, the architecture, different structures, so we can identify them, helps with identification. So, that's not just ornamental. I mean, it is ornamental, but it helps with identification. You see a picture of it, oh, that's San Francisco. That's the Golden Gate Bridge. Oh, that's the Bay Bridge. Oh, that's the Brooklyn Bridge. If they was all built the same, we wouldn't be able to tell. So that may help. So. Plus, people like to be creative, and artists and architecture want to have their own unique styles. Some people strive to have unique styles, like me. I definitely strive to be unique. Do I strive to be unique, or do I just strive to be me? When I was younger, I definitely strived to be unique. When I was younger, it was definitely an emphasis on me being unique and not like everybody else. It was definitely a thing for that. Then as I got older and I guess accomplished, or got to a point where, not accredited, but got to a point where I felt like I was heard. I've got mine in, and I've been here, been there. I'm cool, satisfied. You know, it got to a point where I was fairly satisfied. You know, that took over to where, like I always say, somebody asked me something. I've been to Moscow. You ask me anything. Yeah, I did this. I've been to Moscow. That's it. I'm done. I win. I win. Even though I didn't do a damn thing while I was there, pretty much. I win. Because I've been to Moscow. And that's kind of the way I look at it. I win. Because that's where I've been. I've been to Moscow. I've been to Paris. I've been to all those wonderful places. So, you know, that's how it goes. You see some folks out here. You definitely see some folks out here. So, that's where we're at. Well, that's an indication of where we're at. That's the current situation as it evolves, and I learn from it, and I go through it, and I'm enjoying going through it. I'm enjoying the experience. It's Thursday. The week is downhill now. 15 hours of work until the weekend. 2 days off, which I just love to anticipate and just salivate over and just savor. I don't know why. I just do. I just love to look forward to that Friday night when I'm off work, get things set together, sit in my chair. I just like to have things to look forward to like that. You know, whatever it is, like the P-Funk show or going this or traveling or, you know, stuff like that. And full disclosure, that little, when I kind of went to the Moscow and to the Paris thing a second ago, I had an audience and I was performing. It kind of kicked in. Full disclosure, I mean, you probably even noticed that I went a little, took it too far. Because the point I was just trying to make is that basically when I say I've been to Moscow, is that I use that as an example. I've accomplished everything, leave me alone. I've accomplished everything, leave me alone, I'm done. You can't win, I'm number one. You know, something like that. You're like, I've been to Moscow, that beats everything. Nothing beats that. And I just use that as an example. Because that's probably one of my, I don't want to say greatest feats, but definitely one I'm very proud of. Went to Moscow by myself. It's one of the ones that I always look to. And in fact, on my refrigerator, I got all my magnets lined up in order of importance. Moscow's number one. Going to the St. Basil and the Kremlin. And I think Egypt was number 2. Great Wall, number 3. Paris should be number 4. New York is up in there. But I do it so regularly, it's kind of hard to, you know, keep it in the top 6, 7, or 8. Grand Canyon should be up in there. Australia, Japan, Tokyo. You know what I'm saying? London. Berlin. You know what I mean. Very proud of that. It's something I always wanted to do. So I always wanted to travel. The Vatican. See, I went to the Vatican 30 years ago. I keep forgetting to put that on there. Rome and Italy. Don't sleep. The first one a long time ago. I always wanted to travel. And I noticed P-Funk traveling. Oh, I'm going. They went to Moscow. Ooh. That one, I remember I telling Mr. Payne, I was like, ooh. 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 When they was in Moscow, I was like, oh my God. That was the one. That was the one where I kind of said, all right. All right, when my time comes, I'm gonna show y'all. I'm gonna show them how you travel. Denmark, of course, you know. Barcelona, Spain. So, that's how that goes. And that's how we believe that is. And that's how we attempt to create it and to bestow it and to have it and to, you hear me say bestow because I had an audience. See, when I get an audience, I perform. I said bestow. What is bestow? Bestow. I don't care if they hear me say something crazy. It doesn't bother me at all. Because it's content. It's content. And that's basically all that matters. No, that's not true. It's a big portion. It's a portion of it. Content, any kind of content. Because I watch people's videos and this and that. And it's basically no matter what you do, it doesn't matter as long as you do something. What you say or do in the video doesn't matter. As long as you do something, or you don't even got to do anything. As long as you create it. And if you like first starting out, just do it. It'll get better. It's not gonna be perfect the first time, so don't even try to. Just get it decent and get it out there. And just start talking and doing this and doing that. And as you do it, you'll get comfortable. Oh, there'll be certain things that you wanna do that'll come to you for you that you'll do. You can't look and see somebody else doing it. Oh, you know, I wanna try that because somebody else doing it. Most of that stuff you find happens as you do it yourself, the things that you gravitate towards to. Not that you see somebody else doing or try to imitate. Because I built kind of a nice little setup from scratch. You know, as it evolved into something that I think is, you know, pretty cool. I switch cameras on my cameras, the way I got it set up and wired, and, you know, the microphones and how I do this and do that, you know. It's functional, and I created that. I developed it, especially right down to my little wireless keypad that I use the hotkeys to trigger OBS Studio to do what I want to do, and how I maintain the key template pattern. The key, like this one key was always for this camera, this key was always for that camera, this key was always for that camera, this key was always for that, this key was always for that. And as I built it and developed it, I kept that same kind of strategy. And so it became, I can just look at the keypad and I just see where the cameras are. I just know, because the way I have the layout set up has been consistent all this time. So anyway, that's where we are. Happy Thursday. I'll be back in the sanctuary working. I just got to keep my heads up about my behavior while I'm in the office. And I think I can do that now that I'm aware. You know, just be professional. Be professional. Like I said yesterday, I'm a fan of unprofessionalism now. There's definitely a time and place for unprofessionalism. Don't get me wrong. But you gotta keep it classy. You got to keep it, you know, at a certain level to respect Jeffrey's integrity. Anyhow, swinging on y'all 2 times. For me, for the funk. And for every elementary particle that has ever existed in this or in any atom, what did I say? Swinging on y'all 2 times for me and for the funk. And for every elementary particle that has ever existed in any atom, in this, or in any universe that ever was, is, or will be. The totality of it all, theory of universe. Hypothesis of all as one. Hey, I had an audience. My name is Jeffery.